King Charles stood at the most awkward threshold of his life. Punish Harry and Meghan, or bring down the monarchy. I don't know about you folks, but I will hate to be King Charles right now. I mean, this man waited over 70 years to become king, and now he is having to deal with this greedy, selfish, spiteful son who blames everybody else for his problems. Harry really needs to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror, and he needs to see the only person who has done all this damage is himself. Harry's older brother William was very protective of him when they were growing up, and he was even more so after Diana passed away. The royal family protected both boys in the first few days after she passed, and what did people do? Well, people criticized them for not coming back to London. So once again, they were damned if they do, damned if they don't, and it looks like now Charles is in the exact same situation with Harry. And as for that evil monster who he married, well, she is a cunning piece of work. She doesn't love him. She never did. All she wanted was money, a title, clothes, and also having people bow down to her and kiss her ugly feet. I'm pretty confident that behind the scenes things are not very good between Harry and Meghan, and King Charles has something in the works. Now the public is not happy that King Charles invited them to the coronation, of course not. But you know, if he didn't invite the two of them, then Harry and Meghan would go after the royal family even more. I do wish they could find some deserted island far away from the paparazzi to live. After all, they were the ones who said they wanted to live this quiet private life anyway. I know that's not true. I just wish we would never have to see or hear from them ever again. But unfortunately, I know my wish will not be granted. They're always going to have to open their nasty mouths and say something horrible about Harry's family. Why would they even want to come to the UK though? If they think so little of the people of the UK because it does include the country as a whole, last time I checked, they've got to understand that more than likely the people are not gonna be excited to see them. And what really irks me is that if they do come to the UK, Charles and the rest of the family are going to leave themselves open to even more abuse, because obviously the two of them cannot be trusted. Conversations are going to be twisted, and you know, more lies are going to be coming. The coronation is an incredibly sacred occasion, and I'm going to be watching it on my own, but I don't want any distractions. Harry and Meghan, though, are going to be a distraction if they show up, mark my. And I'm sick of people claiming that Charles is weak. He's not now. I understand what it's like to deal with a troubled son. It's not easy, and I'm sure he has to be heard by everything Harry has said and everything he's done. I cannot imagine how difficult it is to be in the position that he's not only a father but also a king. See, my feeling is that it does not matter what he does, people are going to go after him. But anyway, I still think he knows what he's doing. I think he's playing the long game like his mother was so good at, and I don't think he's going to give anything away. Meghan and Harry have been invited to the coronation, so they're not going to be able to complain that they were not invited, that they were snubbed now. Whether or not they come, well, that's up to them. William, Catherine and Camilla and Anne all have King Charles' bag. We know that, and, you know, they're going to be giving him their advice. When Meghan and Harry stepped down from being working royals, they were informed they were not allowed to use those titles to make money. Do you all remember Sussex Royal? I'm sure you do. And then the titles for the children were covered in the letters patent that were issued by George V as grandchildren of the reigning monarch. They are technically entitled to use prince and princess. Now, personally, I don't think those children of Meghan and Harry, if there, will need those titles. But anyway, that's my opinion. I think both Meghan and Harry are ways to space. The point though is that those titles were already set up a long time ago, and the titles are not going to help them in the US anyway. I don't think that Camilla and William or Anne are going to allow the king to dither for too long, and I also do not believe they're going to let Harry and Meghan just run over him. I'm sure, as always, they will try to keep the peace as much as they can. The king, Tolly, Meghan and Harry, that they've got to move out of Frogmore Cottage is certainly a step in the right direction. Setting Harry up to lose his Counselor of State status, which of course he should lose it, and watch. I think the king is going to do something to outsmart them, and he's not going to lose his dignity in the process. He's a lot like his late mother in that way. Both of them are polite. Both of them are very intelligent, and they are not fools. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that we don't know about the palace, and the advisors have everything taken care of. For example, I think it was only recently that it was made public that they were being evicted from Frogmore, but it seems like that a sultry duo actually found out about that news right after Harry's book came out. Everybody was all upset that Prince Edward hadn't been given the Duke of Edinburgh title. But on his birthday he was presented with the dukedom as he should have been. These things take time to happen. They take a lot of careful planning and timing too, and King Charles has some very good people around him. He's got Princess and Prince William, and of course his lovely wife, Queen Camilla. I think it's important that we're patient and don't lose the faith. The royal family also don't do things publicly which would bring them down to the same level as Harry and Meghan. Their motto is never complain, never explain. So what does it really have to do with the people of the UK and how he chooses to deal with his son? What does it matter? Nobody really knows what's happening behind the scenes, and if that's what the protest is about, that's not right. I mean, how would you like to be told how you need to deal with your family? Charles is also in a very difficult situation. It's kind of a damned if he does a situation. If he comes down hard on Harry, then people will say that he's cruel and callous, and if he still tries to keep open the lines of communication, then people are going to say that he's weak. Yes, he is a king, but at the end of the day he's also a father, and I think it's pretty easy to say what we would do in that situation and what should be done, but we are not directly involved. We don't understand all the feelings, all the emotions that are tied up in this situation. It just breaks my heart to think about how all his life King Charles was just doing his duty, and now when it is finally his time to shine, his own son has betrayed him, and it seems like he's getting the brunt of everybody's frustration at this moment. What a thankless position to be in, and all the good work that he has done has been completely ignored. See, I don't have any ties to the monarchy and I can clearly see it, but his own subjects, it seems, are too busy telling him how to be. Charles is a father who has a very disturbed son, and he has been abused by an awful evil gold digger, and I'm guessing the protesters need to stop wasting their time. They just need to give the king a chance to get on with things. I'm sure he has a plan on how to deal with this matter. He wants to make sure to cause the least damage to his son and the people too. And I think he's also getting some very good advice, and I'm sure there's a plan in place. You know, the protesters would probably be a lot better off going down the road to Parliament, and they can shout down that bunch of liars. I think those are the people who are really destroying the UK. Royal expert Mr. Robert Johnson has also weighed in, saying King Charles needs to deal with these two or they will ruin his reign for him. This is exactly what